Hey folks, Landstryder here, and welcome to my quick guide of Astroneer by the Aero team. It's in alpha right now, and we're going to be looking at the pre-alpha build 02115. Right now, you can choose from 4 different starter characters that you're going to play. There's not multiplayer in this release yet, although they're definitely going to be having it because they show that prominently in the promotion video, and you can see that I've been giving it a good test over because I want to show you quickly how to play this. It's very intuitive game. It really is not complicated, and it's one of the nice things about it is it's very intuitive, not complicated, and fun. So let's check it out. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pick from one of your characters. This is the one I kind of like. This is your classic red suit. This one's a little chubby guy, and this is the default one right there, skinny guy. We're gonna go with the one on the end here though. You launch your guy, and it picks a random location, I guess, on the planet. Each time I've started, it seemed to have been in a different place. You can spin by holding the right mouse button down, and it's a good idea to get a look around, especially right before you're landing, because you might be able to spot something on the horizon. Looks like there might be something over there to take a look at. So that looks like just a rock sticking up over there. Not the most ideal start out of the ones that I've had, but once you land, you're gonna press tab to get out, and of course it gives you a little guide. Press tab to get back in. When you're close to your habitat, your little habitat that lands there, WSAD will move you in those directions. But it's relative to the camera. It's always relative to the camera. Left and right, and you're gonna kind of turn around. The first thing you're gonna do, and one of the things that's a big part of the game, is your terrain tool. You can see it's prompting me to get it out. Let's press the E button, and then we have the ability to shape terrain. Now, pressing the left button will remove terrain, and if you remove terrain under some other, like plants, you can see that I'm picking up organic material. I can open my backpack with the Q button. Basically, it just brings that up. I can actually see what's in my backpack at any time by just looking at the back of my guy. I like that. There's no normal graphic user interface. It's all right there on the back of your guy. You can zoom in a little bit. And of course, you can open it up by pressing Q, brings that up, and you can interact with things that way. You see that there's these nodes. You're going to get used to seeing those and interacting with those because they're on everything. Like right over here, we can see you got a couple nodes on our habitat there. But let's finish talking about the terrain tool because that's super important. Next thing we're going to want to do is collect some resources. There's a couple of resources we can find laying around the planet. Resin is one of those, and it's an important one to get right at the beginning. Very, very important. And you can see that now that I've moved a little bit away from my habitat ring, that blue line that was connecting me to it isn't there no more, and I'm using up my oxygen. So if I run out of oxygen, I do have the potential of perishing, but don't worry, this thing makes lots of clones. But as soon as I get close enough, I'll get tethered again, and it'll fill my oxygen bar back up there at the top. Now, as I was saying, the controls for this are extremely intuitive. In fact, if we look at the controls, there is all there is to it. Moving around, placing items is simple as clicking on whatever it is you want, clicking where you want to release it, click again, pick it up, put it someplace else. Other controls, we're talking about the terrain tool, and you can see that there's 2 other modes. We're going to talk about those right now, which is flatten and add. Because now that I've been messing the terrain up over here a bit, digging, getting some of this resin, I want to start expanding my base, but I want to be nice and flat because that's who I am. I like things to be very flat. So when you're using the flatten tool, I like over there. That looks like a pretty flat area. If I hold Control and then I do this and just kind of spread it around, it'll try to flatten it to the shape of of what wherever it was I was originally holding the cursor at the time. So what you need to do, so if I did it here on the edge, if I hold control, I'm not going to be able to do it too much because I'm running low on power, but you can see that it starts to dig down over there because it's trying to make that slope, and if I try to go up that way, it'll raise the ground up. It's trying to match it to the flatness of the slope that I originally clicked on. But that's not what I want. I want this nice flat ground just like it is underneath my pod here. So if I want that kind of a flat, I have to start over here and then extend that out. We can start flattening it. It's really hard to get it perfectly flat, but once you do get a spot that's perfectly flat the way you want to, you can always go back to it, hold control, and then keep extending it out and out. Still not quite perfectly flat. I could probably get there eventually, and I'm not going to be too crazy about it for this tutorial. So let's move on to the next thing we need to do is expand our base. We've got this little nodule that's following us around from our habitat module. And the game is actually prompting us through the in-game tutorial, which is kind of tells you what to do the first time through. Then we need to extend this. Well, maybe that's not the way where I want it, so let's go ahead and pull it back for a second. Maybe I want it to come over this direction. Now it's important that you don't finalize it until it's where you want it. And the way you're going to finalize it is to add a resin to it. I picked up some resin from over there, so we can just go ahead and put that resin on there by either clicking on that, or I can take it and pick it up and put it right there. So now this is going to be pro tip right here. I recommend that you go ahead and leave that. Don't put no resin on there. Leave that one. Bring this on out this way. Go ahead and leave that nodule over there. I'll explain that, kind of show that maybe why later. But now we're going to go ahead and put some resin there, but we don't have enough. So let's grab a little bit more from over here. We can get another container of it. Oh, a little bit more. There's a bit. See, some of it's down there in the ground. And we're out of power. Okay, when we come back over here, we did get enough resin to go ahead and complete this platform. And once this platform, oops, and sometimes that'll happen if you're standing too close when things pop into existence. Get stuck in it for a second. If that happens, you can open your inventory sometimes. It'll get you unstuck. But now that we have this platform, it's permanent. I can't really change it at that point. So that's why I was saying you want to make sure that things are where you really want them before you place them. I'm going to go ahead and plan for the next platform over that direction. Although I don't know that we're going to have enough resin. Well, that one, it looks like it's pretty much done. But if we look over here, I think there was bunch of more. Yeah, there's a bunch more resin over here. Just got to keep an eye on our oxygen. Don't want to be away from our base too much before we get compound. I don't see any real close. I see a bunch more resin over there. Surely there is some compound nearby. Yeah, I think I see it over that direction. So yeah, we're gonna have to go get that next. But now I got enough resin to go ahead and do that. I'm gonna hold off on doing it anymore. We're going to run over and grab a little bit of compound. That is the other resource that you can typically find on the surface. You can also find energy and oxygen. So they're going to be represented by yellow. See, this one is yellow. So we'll grab a little bit of that first. If you see these nodes right here with these little arrows, those are replenishable resources, and you can keep coming back to them later, and they will have more resources again. They'll never go away. As long as you don't destroy them. And I haven't figured out if you can destroy them. Probably possible. But there we go. We got a bunch of compound. Run back before we run out of oxygen. Running by holding shift. And you also use more oxygen when you're... We're down to 25%. We got to get close. We got to get retethered. There we go. Now, speaking of tethering, and your inventory has its own crafting system down here. You see that some compound is in the slot for the needed necessary item to make a solar generator. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. we're gonna make a solar generator thing. This is a personal size solar generator, and you'll see it'll pop right up there onto one of these two nodules. I have a nodule there. I can actually put something there if I wanted. It could act as an additional storage. But what you really want it to do is put your solar up there. There's also a battery that you can put up there, a tank, a generator, and a wind vane that you could use on your backpack. Depending on the situation, you can build all those from your backpack. But what we really need is these right here, some tethers, and those are also made with compound. Compound being the most easy crafting material to attain. Okay, now that I have some tethers, I can move on a little bit further away. Let's go get some of this resin over here. Yeah, let's get a bunch of resin, because at this point I'd like to expand and have a bunch of other platforms. You can see this platform is asking if I would like to build a printer on it. You can build different things on these platforms. Research, smelter, vehicle bays. What you want to go for first is the smelter. So that's going to take 2 of our compounds, and if I just click those, it's going to put those on from our inventory. I can go ahead and click this button, and it'll make our smelter. The other thing that we're going to want to do, let's go ahead and make this a platform as well. Let's grab some resin, and we can place a tether by pressing T. Tether needs to be close enough to either a base or a vehicle. So there we go, and I can get a little bit further from the base, from our place, and I can keep placing these along a path, and that'll provide me with oxygen. And if I have any kind of energy generation over there, it'll provide me with energy. Now, one of the ways I can get some energy generation over there, is I can take my little solar generator and I can plug it into this slot over here, and it'll provide energy not only to the base now, if there's anything that needs energy, which this thing right here, you can see it is starting to fill up with energy. I can also take these energies that I got, plug them right in. You can see it sucks that right in. Plug them on up there too. It'll suck them in from up there. Fill that up. And now my smelter is full of energy. That energy can also be shared via this tether to me, and I can use that to go ahead and shape the thing. You can see that there's the yellow pulsing line along the tether while I'm doing this, which means that it's doing its best to keep my energy level full, which pretty much do. And that is because it sucked in those energy nodules, provided that energy along the path to me. So that's really a neat feature of the game. And provide energy to yourself from the surface long ways. And you can see that if your backpack is full, it starts popping things out on the ground. We got a bunch of resin. We're going to use all this resin though, real quickly. Come back over here. We're going to go ahead and tell that to become a platform. And then I'm going to show you real quick what would happen if I don't flatten this terrain out. Before that away. Before I extend this out this direction. I'm going to kind of brought it up to that level. We'll go ahead and make that a platform as well. Use up some more resin. Now we go pick up the resin that we left over here. And I've not seen this stuff despawn. If it does, I don't know. But it seems to stick around for a very long time if you leave things laying around on the ground. And then we're going to go with more resin and more compound. The next thing we're going to want is a research. Now I have the compound for that. Got plenty of resin. One of the things we could do before we wrap up the beginning of this quick start series, bring this on out this way. Bring it on out this way again. Go ahead and use basically just to use up some of this resin and kind of give you an idea. Oop, so you see there I've got myself stuck. Work. Come on. Sometimes it'll get you unstuck. Well, that's a great way to... Oh, there we go, Ben Boof. Eventually, he does get unstuck. Alright, now that we are unstuck and we need some compound to continue, so we're going to go ahead and throw a few more tethers. We can see that these go much. Keep going. Get way out there, and that will still keep providing me energy and oxygen. So far, I really like this game. My first impressions of it is I think it's gonna be a hit. Really like it. So we're gonna need research. Got our smelter. Let's make this our research facility. Oh, falling in my hole. This is probably a good way to wrap this the beginning of this quick start series up, is to finish talking about the terrain tool that I never quite did finish. The other thing that we can do is we can add material. And, you know, you never have to worry about running out of material. Pillar my way right up out of that hole. And then I can add material like so. Down. And then if I like, I can again do the control. Real easy way to fill in a hole is for some amount of energy. And it's not daytime. The only extra power source I have is solar. And unfortunately, the only other power source that I can make right now would require refined copper and or refined aluminum. So let's wrap this beginning up, and I will see you at the beginning of the next quick start if you like this one. So we'll talk about more advanced things, exploration, cave stuff, material processing, and all that fun stuff. But I want to keep these short. So there's the quick start guide. That's how to get going and how to get your guy around and start collecting materials. Hope you like this. Till next time, I will catch you later.